Everything I need for the next 2 days is on my back. And this is a first for me. I've been bike packing and paddleboard camping before, but this is my first time fast packing. And where's better for a first fast packing trip than Great Smoky Mountains National Park? I love the Smokies. It's a super biodiverse area, and I find the variety of elements really interesting to travel through. What's up, everyone? I am on my first ever fast packing trip, and I've already made a wrong turn. In my defense, there was a Y in the trail, and there were a bunch of people standing there, so I took a quick glance at the sign, and I thought it said it was supposed to go this way, and since there were a bunch of people, I just kept walking. Yeah, I added a half mile or so to my already 17-mile day, but I see the trail sign up ahead now, so just about back on track. So beautiful with the sun shining through the trees. So like I mentioned, I'm on my first ever fast packing trip, and if you've never heard of fast packing, it's like backpacking, but you typically have less and lighter gear, and you run some. So I started my day at Kuwohi, which is the tallest point in Tennessee, and I'm going to be going down to Elkmont Campground, which I stayed at last year. It's very nice. I got really lucky. I got a walk-in site that's right on the river, so I'm super excited about that. But should be about 17 miles today, pretty much all downhill. And tomorrow, slightly shorter, 15 miles, but it's basically going to be all uphill, which I was a little disappointed about. At first I wanted to do the uphill on day one and get that over with, but I'll have less weight to carry tomorrow because I'll have less food. So guess it kind of worked out. It's gonna take me a very long time to get to camp, I feel like, because I keep wanting to stop and take videos and pictures of everything. Just so pretty here. Also, I do plan on running today. I'm probably gonna run the flats and the downhills, so likely no running tomorrow, maybe just a little bit. It's quite technical right now, so wait till it gets a little more mellow. Does anyone else while you're hiking all of a sudden realize like, the environment's changed? Mainly hiking at like different elevations. Like I started up high and I'm going down now. Started at 6,000 something and I'm at 56 now. In case I haven't mentioned it recently, I love ridgeline trails. Reflecting back on some of the trails I took, it's probably a slight miracle I didn't end up with any ticks. I actually haven't seen any ticks since moving to the southeast years ago, so I guess I'm pretty lucky in that sense. I'm fairly certain this is daughter, which is parasitic. I feel like you should know. Almost all these plants I'm walking through have thorns. Which honestly I should have known. I've done the other half of this trail before, And it was the same way. You couldn't see the trail. It was all overgrown with thorns. Some great views, but not very fun to hike. But I'm going for my Smoky Mountain 900 Miler Challenge, which includes hiking every trail in the park. So, gotta get it done sometime. Possibly Catawba rhododendron, but that might be a darker pink. I changed my mind. I think it's actually great rhododendron. Finally getting off this trail. Granted, I don't know if Rough Creek Trail's much better. I think it's in pretty bad shape as well. But can't be any worse. Not worse, but so far not better either. So, I can see the trail now. But it's also starting to thunder. It's not raining super hard though, so the thunder might be far off. Haven't seen any lightning or anything. I'm hoping the trail is at least like this the rest of the way. No more super overgrown areas where I can't see the trail. No more thorns. Looks like I have about 5 miles to the trailhead, which should be approximately where camp is. Maybe slightly further. starting to get into the remains of Elkmont. I did a whole video on Elkmont when I was here last year for the fireflies. I'll leave a link to that video down below if anyone's interested in that. Like I mentioned, I'll link a video down in the description where I explored the abandoned town of Elkmont and show much more of the ruins if you're interested. But the short version of Elkmont's history is that it originally started as a logging camp, which turned into a vacation town. Basically, the logging company built a railroad to move the lumber, but it was expensive to build, so they added an observation car to help bring in some extra money. A group of businessmen from Knoxville who enjoyed the day trips then purchased some of the land so they could take longer trips and soon began bringing their families. Eventually, Great Smoky Mountains National Park was created and the land was sold to the park either immediately or through a lease program. Some buildings have now been torn down, while others have been restored. Also, I woke up around 3 this morning to get to the trailhead around sunrise, and between that and the roughly 20-mile day, I did not have the mental presence to tell you that I actually made it to camp. But this was my campsite for the night. I did remember to give you a quick tour in the morning though, so you'll see that soon. Saw a bunch of turkeys with their babies when I was driving in this morning. The babies were cute. So I stayed at site B04 at Elkmont. It's pretty nice. There's a river on both sides. But then there's just a picnic table, a fire ring, and a tent pad. And it's all pretty nice. The only issue is this walk path goes to 2 other sites. So if there's people there, they have to walk by your tent site to get to theirs. And they're all walk-in sites, so every time they have to go to their vehicle, they walk by your site. Good morning, everyone. I am back on the Little River Trail, which is where I ended the day yesterday. I'm gonna hike along here for a while and then I'll turn right onto, I think it's Gashin Prong Trail, whereas yesterday, if I'd gone further and gone left, that's the trail I came down. Feeling quite sore and tired this morning. Slightly shorter day today. Yesterday was supposed to be 17 miles and ended up being like 19.3. Today's supposed to be 15. So hopefully it's not much longer. But yesterday was pretty much all downhill. There were some uphills. Today is like entirely uphill. The first, I think, 5 or so miles is pretty gentle, like this here. And then it gets steeper, and it keeps getting steeper until pretty much the end of the day. So first 5 or so miles shouldn't be too bad. I'm guessing the last 10 or so are gonna hurt. onto the new section of trail that I haven't been on yet. It just got a little darker. There was like a sudden cold breeze. So unfortunately, I think it's probably gonna rain soon. Hey, bear. Not sure where it went, but somewhere up the hill. Oh, it's up by the tree, that horizontal tree. Hey, bear. I think I still have a fair bit of climbing to do, but starting to get back into that really mossy environment that I love. This area that I'm walking through that I love so much is a spruce fir forest. Spruce fir forests occur in multiple places throughout the northern hemisphere, but in the southern Appalachians, they only occur on the highest peaks, and are generally made up of red spruce and Fraser fir trees. These forests also generally have a lot of ferns and mosses, which I think is a big part of why I love them. They're typically filled with vibrant green shades. The forest floor can also be rather spongy, which I find quite enjoyable to run or walk on. So I have like 2.5 miles left, and it's starting to rain. Thought maybe I'd get lucky and make it through today without getting wet. Finally made it back to the Appalachian Trail.
It was like,
Yep. And then that's the last one. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to be always adventuring.